back to Sanetresses.
I'm starting off with the Garnier Micellar water. I'm just going to be removing any dirt or makeup that Sharon might be having. I'm just going to be doing this transformation on my model Sharon, and I'm so excited for you guys to see it. And now with L'Oreal Hydrogenous liquid moisturizer, I'm just going to be prepping her skin. I love this moisturizer because it has aloe vera water and it also has hyaluronic acid, which is great for hydration. I'm going to be going with the Embryolisse Late Cream Concentrate, and it's a very good makeup primer. You can use it as a moisturizer or even as a mask. So I'm just going to be putting it all over her skin and not forgetting the neck. So next I'm going to be going in with the NYX Hydro Touch Oil Primer, which I really like to seal in the moisture whenever I moisturize the skin. I like that it works very well under makeup. It will not shift your foundation. Just let it sit a bit on the skin and you'll be ready to go. The MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus is obviously a favorite. I'm just going to spray that on Sharon's skin just to prep her skin for our makeup application. I'm going to be going in with the Superstay from Maybelline. That's the foundation in the shade 334, and I love that this is a perfect match for her skin. It's a matte foundation and it stays super long on the skin, and it's very affordable, which I really love. So for the concealer, I'm going with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Mocha. As you can see, it's not too light for her, which is a perfect match. So I'm just going to be working that under her eyes and also the bridge of her nose, her forehead, her upper lip, her chin, and even if you want, sometimes you can go underneath your cheeks. So I'm just going to be working that in and blending it in super well before I go in with the RCMA No Color Powder, which we'll be using to set the rest of the face, but mainly concentrating it on the areas where I put concealer. So I like to press it in using a beauty blender. I find that this method is really good to make sure that there's no creasing underneath the eyes and just to make sure that your face is ready. I also like to set the eyebrows, making sure that they're ready for our eyebrow pomade application later on. So now I'm just setting the rest of the face, making sure to not forget the neck because we don't want any creasing over there. So I'm going in with the MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NW45, and I love this color on Sharon's skin because it just brings back the color that would have lost. Now going in with the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker Bronzer in Caramel Cutie. I'm just going to be using this to really snatch her nose. She has a beautiful nose already, but we're just going to snatch it a bit using our Fenty Beauty. So I like to obviously connect the nose contour and blend it into the eyebrows. That makes it easier for me when I go in with my eyebrow pomade to know exactly where I want the eyebrow to start. This also helps to give your face a very good symmetrical look, which obviously everybody loves. So I'm just going to blend in with my beauty blender to make sure there are no harsh lines. I'm going to be using the RCMA No Color Powder just to bake. She does have oily skin, so I'm just going to be baking her nose and her chin and just primarily her T-zone. So I'm also going to be using this underneath her cheeks so we can just snatch that contour. I'm going to be using the Jaclyn Hill Original Eyeshadow Palette, and I'm going to be using the shades Jax, which is a cranberry matte shade. I'm just going to be placing that on her outer V and blending it in towards her eyebrows. So to deepen up that look, I'm just going to be using the black shade in the Jaclyn Hill palette called Abyss. Now I'm going to be switching in onto the Jackie Aina palettes, and I'm going to be using the shade Zam, which I'm going to be putting right on the inner parts of her eye, and followed by Wigglies, which is a cranberry shimmer shade that I'm just going to put right on her eyeball. I'm going to go back in with the Jaclyn Hill Jax color, which is a cranberry matte color, and finishing it off with that black Abyss matte color from Jaclyn Hill palette as well. So I'm just going to be putting that black also on her lash line and making sure that I clean up any mess. So I'm going to be using these Adele Wispies, which are really lovely and fluffy. She has really big lashes, so these would just accentuate her eye just that little bit. So using the Benefit Brow Pomade on her eyebrows and also the NYX Tinted Brow Mascara, I'm just going to be using that on her eyebrows. I'm going to shape her eyebrows with the pomade to start off with, making sure that I follow the natural shape of her eyebrows and just setting that in place with the brow mascara. I'm going to be going back with a smudger brush with the shade Jax, which is that cranberry red shade from the Jaclyn Hill palette, just to blend the lower lash line and make sure that everything is good. I had already given her a black eyeliner that she placed in her waterline. And to just smoke out that lash line, I'm just going to be using a tiny detail brush and going in with Abyss, which is that black matte shade. So now I'm just going to be dusting off that bake, making sure that I really dust off any powder, because before we set the face, you have to make sure that we have taken off any residue powder that would be left, if there's any shimmer or glitter that's been left. And to kind of like bring back color, because obviously, you know, we might have lost color during the process. I'm just going back with that Fenty Beauty bronzer that we used earlier on and just going on those areas that I just want to bring more color. So I'm going to be setting her face with that Morphe Continuous Setting Spray to take away all that powderiness. And now for the highlighter, I'm using the Bobbi Brown highlighting powder in the shade Bronze Glow. I like to put that just on the tip of her nose and the bridge of her nose as well. One place that I forgot to put was her inner corner. So Sharon, if you're listening, please remind me next time to put highlighter in your inner corner. But otherwise, I put it on her Cupid's bow just to pronounce that lip that we're going to be doing later on. I also like putting right on the sides of her face, so when you tilt and you're moving your face, you're highlighting everybody in the room, I guess. For lip liner, I'm just using the NYX Suede lip liner in the shade Club Hopper. This is my favorite brown lip liner. I feel like it works for a lot of skin shades, especially women of color. I'm just going to be outlining her lips and kind of shading most of her lip with this lip color, so that when the lip is fading, it will not leave a disgusting brown line. I like to overline underneath the lips, which brings out a poutier look. So for the rest of the lips, I'm just going to put the MAC matte lipstick in Velvet Teddy. I'm just going to ask her to open her mouth and place that right in the inner rim of her mouth. So because we're going for a glossy lip, I use this NYX Plumping Lip Polish, and it's clear, and we just placed it in the center of her lips. So just to feather set her makeup, I went in with the Morphe setting spray again, and we're just going to be working on her hair. I was thinking that an updo would look super amazing on her, so wait until you see what the finished look looked like.